Why, hello there, honored customers. Welcome to... Oh, it's you, Miss Yenfei. Surely not more spurious claims that...
No, nothing of the sort. Has a Snezhnine merchant named Crossel enlisted your ore processing services recently by any chance?
A Snezhnine merchant named Crossel, you say? I do remember that. He brought me a piece of ore. That was the first time I'd ever encountered it, so I had no way of telling if it was really Smaragdus Jadeite or not. But if a customer he was quite generous with his money too, so I didn't give it too much thought. I processed the ore as per his request.
Do you have any leftover debris from your work on it?
Why, yes. It was my first time encountering this ore, after all, so...
Thank you, sir. We'll take a look at them.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
What should I try this time?
If my eyes don't deceive me, the cross-sections and patterning suggest that these are Smaragdus nephrite shavings. Yes, it's not particularly rare, nor is it especially valuable. It's used to make jewelry all the time. I've heard it said that Smaragdus nephrite is in fact the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite, though no one's ever proven it.
A thin layer of separation, huh?
If you must see for yourself, try examining these shavings for traces of elemental energy. Smaragdus...
Is that so? Well, we might as well give elemental sight. So, did you find anything? So they really are different. But wait, how come Jichao was able to tell what it was just by looking at the shards? That's pretty awesome.
There's nothing special to it. It just so happens that I've come across a great many of these in my time. These two stones actually look very similar. Someone without a deep understanding of them would find it very difficult to tell them apart. There may be only a subtle difference for the casual viewer, but that translates to and I'm sure, a significant difference in the cost of having them.
All right, let's focus up. We're going off on a tangent.
But never mind, Shirto. Why would Mr. Crossel...
Unusual actions have unusual reasons behind them. Let's take some of these shavings back to Chateau.
Try your luck betting on Jade?
Miss Yenfei? Might I be so...
If you could just confirm for me once more, sir. Mr. Crossel did indeed claim that the ore he brought to your store was...
Yes, that's right. I still have a record of the job with me, in fact.
Then I have no further questions. But could I borrow the processing record and these stone shavings?
Of course. But might I ask why you need them?
Oh, I have my reasons. Ah, yes. Please sign here on this affidavit. This document shall serve as signed proof that these stone shavings originated from the, ore that Mr. Crossel brought to your...
Yes, I see. Forgive me for asking again.
I wouldn't say there's been an incident. Just a minor issue. Thank you, sir. I'll take these with me.
With this hard evidence to back us up, Crusoe won't dare try.
On the contrary, this is far from sufficient to build a case. If you want to make jewelry, you need a professional jewelsmith. Let me think. Jewelry. Aha! Got it! Sinxie. She often helps people to find a
Well, that was quick. How come you know so many
Because lots of people come to me for legal advice every day. As you know, Liyue Harbor is the city of contracts. And but the amendments made by the Tianquan to our laws are unnecessarily complicated. As such, legal advisors like myself provide quite the popular service indeed.
So you help them make sense of the law. But didn't you say that it's hard to understand?
Yes, well, that's no obstacle because I've memorized all the legal...
You memorized?
You sound surprised. Knowing the law inside out is a legal advisor's bread and butter, you know? Oh, this has nothing to do with being an adeptus. I just like reading
Again with that casual tone.
Well, that's that then. Let's go look for Sings.
I'll protect us. Go, Barbara, go!
Join the Adventurers Guild. You'll have a blast.
Oh, Miss Yenfei, it's you. Has something happened? Did the client from last time,
Have no further trouble from then on? Yes, of course. Has a merchant by the name of Crossel asked you to put him in contact with a jewelsmith recently?
Krosel? Yes, I remember him. He's a merchant from Snezhnaya, no? Yes, he came to me with the design of the hairpins that he gave me was quite intricate, so it took me some work to find someone who was up to the job. Eventually, I found an older jewelsmith who made them exactly according. This order was on hold for a very long time, and only completed quite recently, which is why I remember it so well.
Doesn't seem like there's any evidence to be found here.
Miss Sinxie, I'd like for you to confirm for me once more. When Mr. Crossel commissioned you to find him a jewelsmith, did he or did he not assert that the material...
Yes, I'm sure of it. The hairpins were made using many expensive materials, and the asking price was quite high, so we had to put this transaction on record with the Ministry of Civil Affairs. Mr. Krosel wasn't very familiar with the necessary procedures, so I filed it on his behalf. I also kept a copy for my own records. See for yourself, the item is called Smaragdus Jadeite Twin. The inlaid gemstone is recorded as Smaragdus Jadeite. The document even...
Thank you, Sinxie. Now, could you let me borrow this?
Sure, it isn't serving much purpose here anyway.
Nothing you need to worry about. Just a minor issue. I'll return your document as soon as I'm done with...
Why is everyone's first reaction always to assume someone or something is in trouble?
I believe we have almost all the evidence we need. We just need to make one last trip. Let's go to Boo Boo Pharmacy to speak with Dr. Bai.
The weirdo with the snake around his neck? What?
Because only he can provide an authoritative statement confirming that Smaragdus Jadeite is harmful to the human. Once we have this final piece of evidence in our hands, we can...
Let's dance. Keep going.
My, to what do I owe the pleasure? Though I'm afraid that if you're looking for our little Chi-Chi, she's... And if it isn't Miss Yenfei as well. Now that's an even rarer honor. What business brings you here,
No. I'm here this time to ask if you're familiar with Smaragdus Jadeite.
Smaragdus Jadeite? Why, yes, there is some information. The Seven Mountain Treatises states that this substance springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains, and will bring... It is abundant in elemental energy, so if someone without a vision is in contact with it for a prolonged period, best case scenario, they fall ill. Worst case scenario, they'll suffer great changes in personality, and their illness will only... Anyway, I'm sure you didn't come all this way just to chit-chat. Knowing you, Yanfei, I suppose that you're about to ask me to write an official affidavit attesting to the farm.
That is indeed the case. If you would be...
No trouble at all. It's just a single document. Won't take me a moment. I would mention, though, that you are not the only one who's developed a curiosity for Smaragd. But after I gave him my reply, his expression shifted to one. I wonder, Miss Yanfei, if your pressing business might be...
You needn't concern yourself about that, Dr. Baizhu. Thank you for penning us.
You're too kind.
That Baizhu guy is as weird as ever. Is it just Paimon, or does it feel like he was fishing for something back there?
Dr. Baiju's always been like that. Well, we have the evidence we need. Let's go find Mr. Crossell. I'm fine.
Let the show begin.
Miss Yanfei, have you finished your investigation? I trust you will now be in a position to assess the compensation due.
Yes, my investigation is indeed concluded. I can now...
Wonderful. Well then, please, could you do the honors, Miss Yanfei?
Of course. Mr. Crossell, you must pay Mr. Chow 10 times the original transaction price in Mora.
Sure. Wait, what? Me pay her? Surely there's been some kind of mistake, Miss Yanfei.
Not at all. According to my investigations and the material evidence that we've gathered, the substance claimed to be Smaragdus jadeite that was inlaid within the Smaragdus jadeite twin phoenix pins that you rented out to Mr. Chow was, in fact, Smaragdus nephrite. Now, the contract states very clearly that 10 times the price shall be paid should the article not be genuine. Accordingly, you are liable for this sum, which is payable to Mr. Chow in Mora.
Material evidence? What material evidence? Why, Miss Yanfei, you cannot frame me like this. I spent a huge sum to obtain that Smaragdus jadeite, and yet you claim that the ore inlaid on the hairpins is somehow fake? I demand to see—
Indeed. Only a testimony from an expert witness involved in the processing of the ore can serve as an authoritative assessment of whether it is genuine. Traveler, please produce the evidence in question. This is a processing record from the Jade Mystery, along with stone samples and an affidavit signed.
Seriously? Even the boss there couldn't differentiate between Smaragdus jadeite and Smaragdus nephrite. How does this prove anything? In any case, Smaragdus nephrite is the outer layer of Smaragdus jadeite. So I had him cut away the nephrite, he returned the valuable jadeite core to me, and some nephrite samples remain in the store.
That's an unsubstantiated...
Well, your claim that my ore is fake is just as unsubstantiated.
Ugh. Looks like our first piece of evidence didn't convince him at all.
Hard evidence, something legally binding. We have just the thing. Oh, come on. I meant the backup copy of the document from the Ministry of Civil Affairs. The one we got from Sinxi of Mingsing Jewelry. Oh, come on. I meant the backup copy of the document from the Ministry of Civil Affairs.
This document proves that my hairpins are the real deal, doesn't it? This is the Ministry's seal, after all. It shows that the ore inlaid on the pins is indeed Smaragdus jadeite.
Our second piece of evidence didn't work either. And this guy's getting...
You know, you could be right. Perhaps the...
Of course I'm right. All the evidence shown supports my story.
Well, hang on a moment now, because... Traveler, would you do the honors? This shall serve...
What?
Smaragdus jadeite springs forth from stone marrow within the mountains and will bring disaster. Sustained contact with Smaragdus jadeite over a prolonged period will, unless... Mr. Crossell, were you aware of these peculiar properties of Smaragdus jadeite?
I had no idea.
No idea, you say? I'd guessed as much. But for you to have rented... I'm afraid that this falls outside the scope of my work, but within that of the Ministry of Civil... However, I'm sure that the Ministry will be relatively lenient, considering that, as you say, you were... Don't worry, Mr. Crossell. I will make sure that all the evidence presented here will be handed over to the Ministry. I trust that you'll give them your full cooperation in their investigations.
What? Wait!
Oh, so you knew? Oh, dear, Mr. Crossell. But if you knew of Smaragdus jadeite's stain...
Huh? No,
aren't actually inlaid with genuine Smaragdus jadeite, you do understand, Mr. Crossell, that this means that you will have to pay Ms. Sir Chow 10 times... Mr. Crossell, your answer, please. My client and I are waiting.
Yep, he's seriously intimidating right now. It's like she's a different person.
I admit it. I confess. The ore... But I'm a victim in all of this, too. I invested a great deal of time and money into acquiring that small amount of Smaragdus jadeite. But after receiving it and carrying it around for a few days, I started to feel extreme discomfort. I couldn't sleep a wink or eat. I went to Boo Boo Pharmacy to get myself checked out, only to discover that this sort of stone cannot be worn as jewelry. But that's why I had another pair of hairpins made from Smaragdus nephrite, which is all. I kept the real Smaragdus jadeite in a specially made box. I was worried that someone would see through it, which is why I only dared to rent them out, not sell them. And then to top it all off, Jiqiao lost the hairpins after I rented them out to her.
Exactly! If they weren't the real deal, why'd you make her pay so much?
I didn't want to either, but when I purchased that Smaragdus jadeite, some of my business partners found out. I knew they'd be watching closely to see how much I could make off it. If word got out that I sold a pair of fake hairpins, then my days in this line of business would be over.
All right, let's cut the appeals phase right there. I failed to see what bearing any of this has on your transaction with my client. According to the contract, you must...
10 times?
Crossell looks like he could faint any second.
As for me, according to my contract with Mr. Chow, 20% of that sum will go to...
20%? That's as much as I spent on that Smaragdus jadeite!
There's no need. It's fine. You don't have to pay me that. Even if the Smaragdus jadeite on those hairpins was fake, I still bear responsibility for losing them. Legally or not,
Ms. Jiqiao, you...
However, Mr. Crossell, since you have no use for that chunk of Smaragdus jadeite, why don't you give it to me instead? I'll consider...
What? But all right, then.
Miss Yunfei, I'll turn the Smaragdus jadeite over to you. I trust that it will suffice as remuneration.
Well, that's not quite how the rules say this should go.
Thanks so much for your help this time, Miss Yunfei. When you have the time, I'll be sure to visit...
Oh, come on. No need to stand on ceremony.
Well
then, that's good. Mr. Crossell, it seems that my client has no further...
Is that...
Actually, Mr. Crossell, I could see from the hairpins you produce that you're very skilled in jewelry design. My family, on the other hand, works in the ore business, and we have a fair stock of fine ore. If we could join forces, your jewelry designs and our choice ores, I think we could do
Let me think for a moment.
Well, that's that. And we've got the Smaragdus Jadeite that Granny wants too. All's well that ends well, eh?
Exactly. Usually when someone tells us they've lost something, we end up searching all over the place for it. But this time, you managed to solve the problem, even though the solution...
The right solution depends on your perspective on the problem. The objective of my client, Mr. Chow, was to reduce her liability to pay compensation. So, rather than looking high and low for some hairpins, proving that the rented item was nowhere near worth what the vendor had claimed it to be was the more efficient solution. An Adeptus. Speaking of, you took part in that battle, didn't you? Liyue Harbor is now a city ruled by humans. The title of Adeptus means precious little to me compared to my job as a legal advisor. In any case, don't you think that the Liyue Harbor of today needs legal consultancy far more than it needs adeptal powers?
Paimon can think of someone who would...
Well, since we got what we came for, it's time to pay Granny a visit.
Ah, you've returned. How did it go? Were you able to find the Smaragdus Jadeite? Good, good. Then we have all...
Well, if we're all set, Granny, I'll get going now. Got a ton of clients waiting for me back at the...
Oh, you. All right, then. Go see to your business.
I'm off then. Bye! Oh, yes, Traveler. Make sure you don't lose the business card I gave you. I've been looking into the laws of other nations as well. If you should ever bump into any trouble with the law, come find me direct.
Come now, child. Are you leaving or are you not? If you have no wish to leave, perhaps you'd like to help me clean my teapot.
I'm leaving! I'm leaving!
That child. Goodness knows where she learned to be so rambunctious. Her father was hardly so riotous or fond of talk. Indeed she is. Liyue Yanfei might be overly garrulous, but she is also the most intimately acquainted with the city among us all. Liyue is not the same place I once... All right, then. Let us speak of this no more.
Oh, Paimon's so excited! How...
It is but a single teapot. It shan't take... There we go. Hold it firmly. If you were to drop it, take these blueprints with you as well. You'll need them if you wish to make your teapot.
Wait a minute, Granny. How exactly...
Oh, you needn't worry about that. I've already arranged for a...
This is a peaceful neighborhood.
wonder when I'll... Are you tired? Try my...
Wow! This teapot seems even bigger inside than Madame Ping's! There's even a great big house in the middle, too! Huh. But there's just a whole load of nothing around it. Hey! There's a perfectly good house right over there! Still, why is it so empty? Oh, wait a second. What is...
Well, it seems that we have a visitor.
It's a huge finch!
Excuse me, I am not a finch. Hang on a moment. Oh, call me. I suppose you may call me...
So you're the little helper Madame Ping mentioned?
Madam Ping? Oh, you must mean Ping. You may leave all matters regarding the up... Your journey may be far from over. But at least this way, you will not want for a Though it is the Adepti who create realms such as this, they generally do not have the time of day to attend to the banal. Thus, we teapot spirits were You may consider me a Now, allow me to explain this realm to you. Have you any blueprints on you? Specifically, blueprints with beautiful... As long as you have a blueprint, you can refashion this realm how...
Blueprints? Oh, that's right! Granny...
Yes, these are the blueprints I'm talking about. Go on, open them up. Just commit the image of the objects to memory and prepare the necessary materials. Then simply release the thought from your mind and the object...
Wow! Is that all it takes? Then we could build a whole city inside, couldn't we?
I doubt it. A golden-eyed adeptus explained this to me at some point in the past. He said that even though subspace creation is a product of adeptal power, even that has its limits. This world is not a true one, after all. It provides merely a moment of brief respite from the mortal realm, not a means of escaping it entirely.
A golden-eyed adeptus? Paimon wonders who could that be?
I hardly remember myself. What's more, I have never seen that adeptus again. Well, let's not dwell on that. Have a look around. Best if there's anything you would like to add. I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister. All the standing around is making me so sleepy. I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
lovely to see you. Can I do anything for you? I love the atmosphere here, as I'm sure you'd expect. The exterior is spacious and very pleasant, and the interior is, I do believe it's the finest estate I've ever seen. The only problem is, compared to Mondstadt, there's far too little here for a maid to do. It feels a little too relaxing.
Everyone is working super hard. We should be too. La da 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 da. used to the place at the... If you ever have any questions... I wonder when I'll be as tall. Maybe you're not you. If you ever have any questions about the... I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister. All the standing around is making me so sleepy. I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister. La da 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 da. I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister. everyone is working super hard. We should be too. La da 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 da. La da 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 da. All this standing around is making me so sleepy. I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister.
These bombs, so heavy.
La da 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 da. I wonder when I'll be as tall as my big sister. La da da da.